Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and there are two clips. I know some of you out there hate BitBoy, but let me tell you what, when the things he's saying, until we find out if this guy is just full of crap, I'm going to show you these things so that you can kind of follow along with what he's saying. And he also really hits one of these Bitcoin maxis in this. It's really good. You need to watch it. All right, watch this one first.
This is these exchanges getting ready to relist XRP. So, look, I know it doesn't look good for the timeline we've laid out. Now, what I've been told is this timeline could be 1 to 2 weeks extended. So we could be looking at the end of September before something breaks on this. But the fact is, regardless of what you're reading, regardless of what you're seeing on the crypto news sites, regardless of what other YouTubers are talking about, they are in the works of settling this thing out and hammering this thing out by the end of September. Should be middle of September, but it could get extended just a little bit. This is November 21st, discovery date. It means nothing. This is all just a legal system, dragging its, what's the expression? Dragging its heels? Dragging their feet. That's right. The legal system dragging their feet. So what we're going to see play out is all behind closed doors. And I know that Naomi and I were talking before we went on air here, and she had mentioned, well, this could be good because it could be precedent. We'll have precedent to judge, like, will these other crypto projects be securities or not? All this stuff is going to be sealed. That's why they're doing this all behind closed doors right now, because the government is asking to keep everything sealed, and basically Ripple is going to agree to all of it. So that way, Ripple wins, they get their settlement, they get the slap on the wrist, and the government wins too, because now they still get to just go after whatever company they want to go after. Such a scam.
Okay. Then he said, then this one, watch this. How many times in the last few years have we heard these Bitcoin maxis say, oh, they're never going to use XRP? Listen to this.
I don't see how Ripple, the company, and their products actually drive any value to XRP, the token, because you don't have to use XRP in most of their products, so I don't see how there's a value crossover there.
Yes, you do.
They're starting.
You guys are giving the talking points, the same talking points everybody's given about XRP for the last 2 years. That is not true. They changed everything. They rebranded recently. They got rid of XRapid. They got rid of XCurrent. They got rid of XVIA. They switched it all over to RippleNet into ODL. You have to use the token now to use all of their products. So you can't do one without the other. So this thing that there's no bank adoption. I mean, SBI, a large bank in India that works with Japan, they recently just adopted it. We're seeing it in the, what do they call that region of the world? The APAC region. It's like the Asian Pacific. Australia's working with some stuff with Ripple right now. So you're seeing it in that southeastern quadrant of the world. You're seeing a lot of adoption right now in the banks, and that's going to slowly domino to the other things. But this talking point that you don't have to use XRP, that's a 1 to 2 year old talking point. That's over.
Yeah, they did just repackage their whole system. So
it's a long term great investment.
That is what you call sending someone to school. Now, I saw this. This is a clip from an HBO thing on Ethereum that they did a long time ago. And look, this just makes me uncomfortable. And I want you to watch it because, remember, the United States, SEC, and Congress, because they're doing nothing about it, gave Ethereum a free pass and then went after the American company. And when you watch this clip, it just doesn't sit right.
Yeah, apparently.
Придется научиться бильярд играть.
Нет, это американский, кстати.
Американский полубильярд — это две разные игры, да?
Да, это русский бильярд сложнее.
Понял.
Больше шары, меньше лузы.
И стол больше.
Слабенькие американцы.
And yeah, okay, he's just joking, but at the same time, it just doesn't sit right. I'm telling you, that this whole thing has always creeped me out. Stefan Huber put this together and this is worth watching, small fraction of unanswered questions raised by the bizarre behavior of the Securities Exchange Commission in the lawsuit against Ripple and us XRP holders. Watch. I thought that was excellent, and the questions were excellent. Now, and I'm about to hit on that point here in a second about those things. Stuart Alderati, who's Ripple's general counsel, said this: hats off to Senator Toomey for asking for ideas from the industry and legislators on how to provide clarity for crypto and blockchain technology in the U.S., hoping to see a continued congressional push for an approach that fosters innovation while protecting consumers. Now, I wanted to show you this because I talked about this the other day. Now, this is that video that I tweeted, and this is Robert Jackson, who was an SEC commissioner. And I believe that in this clip, he summarizes what Jay Clayton's ICO strategy was. He really just says that that was the strategy. And then what I did that I'm going to show you in this video, I went back. Hester Pierce is probably the most active SEC person in social media. I went back and looked at her Twitter feed from around the time that the Hinman speech and all this was going on, and I looked back at the SEC's Twitter feed, and when you start to see the pattern of how they were marketing the different things that they were providing guidance on, the Hinman speech just fits right in there like a glove, just like he says in this video. You need to watch this 52 seconds again now. If I can refresh it, you need to watch it now. Come on.
Now, just to be clear, the ICO space in particular, I think we had a very significant period where that product was being used in a way that wasn't consistent with the law. Of all the many things that I'm proud to have worked with Jay Clayton on, I am most proud of what the team did to get out ahead of the ICO issue, to be clear that we were going to be forceful about the limits of the law. I think that was difficult as a matter of leadership for Jay to do it. I think it was the right thing to do.
Okay. Now, what he's referencing there is the first thing is Jay goes out and he talks over and over and over about how I haven't seen an ICO yet that's not a security. These are securities. If you're trying to raise money, we've been doing this pretty long. Remember all those clips? Jay Clayton went out and he marketed as the chairman that all ICOs are securities. Then and this goes back to those questions we saw, is that for some reason they give Ethereum a free pass with Hinman's speech, but Jay Clayton covered his own behind by making all those speeches, okay, in his official capacity as the SEC chairman. But so phase one is to go out there and say all ICOs are securities. Listen to what else he says.
The team that he put in place did the just right.
The team that he put in place did the just right thing. And then after this, he talks about the team. And the team is Hinman and Valerie Chapinick, however you say her name. Listen to what he says now, because we just went over phase one.
And I'm very proud of him. Now that we've gotten past that part,
okay,
people are asking the very lot.
Here comes phase two.
Next set of questions, which is, okay, now I know what not to do. Help me understand how to do this right. And we're working on it. Hinman gave the speech.
Hinman gave the speech, phase two.
Val is meeting with people 5 days a week.
Val's meeting with people 5 days a week. Val's in charge of the Fin Hub. Now, let him finish his comment.
We're really working on moving that conversation forward.
All right. It's very obvious that that was the strategy. It's very obvious that Hinman's speech was a part of that, even though he said in an affidavit in the case that's going on now, SEC versus Ripple, that it was just his personal opinion. So I decided to go back into Hester Pierce's Twitter feed as well as the SEC's Twitter feed. And it's interesting what you can find when things are happening and they don't ever think it's going to be brought up again. All right, the first one is, I'm just showing you this because it's funny. If Jay Clayton had known then about the videos that Robert Jackson would be putting out and the things he would say, you have to wonder if that handshake would have ever occurred. So this is the day that the Commissioner Jackson joined Jay Clayton to protect all of us. Sarcasm. All right, so December 11th, 2017, we get a statement on cryptocurrencies and initial coin offerings from Jay. This is phase one, the marketing plan. He puts it on the website. This is a public statement, right? Then we've got this. May 16th, 2018, Chairman Clayton, we embrace new technologies, but we also want investors to see what fraud looks like. So we built this educational site with many of the classic warning signs of fraud. Again, press release. The SEC has an opportunity you won't want to miss. Act now. This is when they put out the Howie coins. And Robert Jackson was in one of his videos talking about that too, where they put out the Howie coins. This was part of the strategy. Okay, but this is all part of phase one, warning about ICOs. Okay, all right, and then here's part of phase one too, from the SEC Gov, their Twitter feed, June 25th, 2018. This is what, 9 days after Hinman's speech. 5 things you need to know about initial coin offerings. Spotlight on initial coin offerings. This is the marketing plan. Okay, so we're still in phase one here. All right, just like that guy said, just like Jackson said. So here's phase two. I tweeted this. Why is the SEC tweeting out Bill Hinman's personal opinions from their official Twitter handle and adding the speech, in parentheses, guidance, question mark, to their official website? So June 14th, they tweet at the SEC. June 14th is the day 2018 is the day Hinman gave the speech. They tweet out, just like they tweet all these other things out, the guidance that they're giving. This, from what Robert Jackson just said, is phase two. He said, what did he say? He said, Jay Clayton, I'm so proud of him. He stepped up to the plate. He talked about the ICO, did all this. And then he said, and then we get the Bill Hinman speech. Then we get the Hinman speech. Well, here's the Hinman speech, phase two. Digital asset transactions when Howie met Gary. Plastic delivered by a corporation finance director Bill Hinman at today's Yahoo Finance All Markets Summit is now available. And here is they say speech, June 14th, 2018. They put that on the SEC website. Then Hester Pierce on June 15th, the very next day, when Howie met Gary, a positive step in the SEC's relationship with innovation. Okay, so here's my question. How is this, if this is just Bill Hinman's opinion, how is this a positive step in the SEC's relationship with innovation? If Hinman's speech is a positive step and it's only his opinion, how can it be a positive? What does it have to do with the SEC and innovation if it's just his opinion? The answer to that question, this tweet right here is important, in my opinion. Very important. And then we're at phase three, where they talk about the FinHub. Okay, finally, FinHub is here for FinTech. Thank you to the staff for making this happen. Right? Then let's look what else they did. Look at all of these about the FinHub. Is digital asset a security? FinHub staff offers analytical framework. SEC FinHub stash. So they're tweeting this out the same way they did the Hinman speech, same way they did the ICO information. It's all part of the marketing program of Jay Clayton's ICO framework, his ICO strategy. It's all here. And then there's this. SEC's Hinman. Valerie recognized early on the securities law implications of developments like blockchain, cryptocurrencies, ICOs, and other digital instruments. I'm excited to have her in this important and rapidly evolving area. You see what's going on here, folks? This is a pattern. The Hinman speech is not just a part of the ICO, Jay Clayton ICO strategy. It's an integral part of this marketing campaign and the guidance campaign that they were doing. But you don't have to take my word for it, because Robert Jackson told you. All I did is went back into their own feed and found it for you and laid it out for you. This is common sense right here. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that Jay Clayton had an ICO strategy, and Bill Hinman's speech was part of it. Personal opinion, my butt. Thank you for listening.